We asked for a assassin of assassin matchup this game. Halbert against Curry. Can we get it? But what assassin though?
I mean, Suyo's still up, but
Against,
yeah.
I think what I see is like ONIC, they're not really thinking like, okay, Suyo's a problem because they have the
Yeah.
carrot, right?
Yeah,
The
they
Barret.
are. And also another mid laner to pick, right?
Yeah.
So,
The Farsha
magic
maybe?
damage would-
Or just the Kimi. Wow.
Okay, it's a classic Gatot and Kimi in the mid and roam.
Yeah.
What is that win rate though? 17% win rate for the Kim and the Uranus.
Oh wow.
Uranus. Wow.
Uranus.
Ludwig on the Uranus, I think it's something new because I rarely see Ludwig playing Uranus because that's not Ludwig playstyle, but yeah, it is a heavy magic damage composition for
Yep.
ONIC with only the Fanny as the physical damage dealer.
Yeah.
So for Albert, what do you want to pick here? Just the Suyo, normal Suyo, but against 4 magic, do you really want to pick Suyo here?
It seems like they're drafting to deny.
Let's go to Bastia. Play for Mr. Kelran,
Yeah.
Erlan, you know, with the Moskov,
It seems
doubling
like-
down.
They were drafting to anticipate the Suyo
Yeah.
with the magic damage and all that. Well, coach, which draft?
I really, I mean, I think I have the bias looking at Kyrie's Fanny, so I really want ONIC. I really like ONIC's draft, but for EVOS side, I think it's more aggressive. They can control the mid lane, the trio mid. So yeah, I think it's a EVOS, but personally, ONIC because of Fanny.
What about you, Oni?
You know what? I think in this game, Ludwig will practically be unkillable. That's my take.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
good
no source of like a burst. Sure,
Yep.
there's DPS, but yeah, let's see. That's my take here.
Yeah.
It's EVOS is struggling to take Ludwig down. Let's see though.
It's a sensible take too, Goni. I do agree with that. Now, let's see if ONIC will end and clinch yet another international derby victory. Or will EVOS bounce back in game number 2? This is ONIC up against EVOS, game 2.
Yeah. I think we should anticipate like EVOS aggressive in the early stage of the game because the Baxia again with the. Wait a minute.
That's an early flicker from Theo. The 2v2 here seems like it's too much for the Valentina to handle. That's a big taunt. Egatizi! Popped the flicker as well. So the mid roam from EVOS popped flicker.
He was still keeping the flicker
still
until the
flicking.
end.
He tried Suns. He tried to playing around Suns, but wait a minute, very aggressive early game. I mean, I understand why ONIC picks up the draft.
No flicker!
Wow.
Wow. The killing threat just from Kai
Yeah.
himself is just tremendous. And Ludwig's already invading now. Albert is disrupted. That's going to be the Fanny taunted. Oh my goodness, Ludwig picks up first blood, and that's a double for Ludwig. No flicker from Pew! And that will mark 3 kills on the board. And we haven't even reached the 2-minute mark yet.
Super aggressive early game from ONIC. You would argue that they would wait for a brief moment and then play, possibly for the Harriet and the Fanny too, but that was such quick takes.
Yeah, I mean, I stand corrected. ONIC just play with the Uranus tempo that cuts the lane,
Yeah.
play as a 4 in the mid lane, and they're much stronger because Luke is a non-existent. Apophis with a level 4 is just a man with a hammer. Do Apophis use hammer? But yeah, back again, ONIC just very smart. Ludwig knowing that he's unkillable, like Goni said, just cuts the lane. And I feel like this is ONIC like playing EVOS way like last season. They play with the Uranus on Randy, play with the tempo, and just whoa, a trade. Wow.
Wow, Albert here knows that he will not have a chance, I think, or he doesn't want to even attempt.
Oh, they're gonna dive him.
Hugh and Ega looking for a kill on towards the other end. No Purify, and that's going to be a mark. That's going to be a trade, a kill for a turtle here.
Yeah. Kibo's gonna come close. Oh, gets pinned to the wall. And to answer your question, Aldo, Movius doesn't carry a hammer. That's called a Morning Star.
Ah, this is
You know, it's the
Morningstar.
medieval
Okay,
French
okay,
weapon, right?
Okay.
With the circular ball at the end.
Yep.
That's called a Morning
Whoa,
Star.
Passion Pulse?
Actually, in the mid lane, Hugh again. I think
Oh.
a couple of seconds he had his flicker up, and he has to
What?
use it, and just Ludwig flanking. Finding a kill, his 3rd kill on the board here, just for that Uranus.
And he goes for the Purify as well, because he knows that there must be a lot of control coming in from EVOS. This Uranus tempo is pushing ONIC to their limit.
Yep. I mean, it's funny to see a Baxia trading to the gold lane and the Phonic controlling the first turtle.
Yeah.
It's very, very rare to see. And just ONIC just controlling with Sans. I mean, if you know Sans back in the day, he's known as the Kimi player. He's very, very good at Kimi. And yeah, it shows the way he uses the second skill, the way he uses the traction pulse is just so good. The way he covers his teammate. Yeah. Wow. Just wow.
Yep.
Sans.
Very well read by the players. And this time around, Kelra, they knew that they had to kind of punish this Harith some way, somehow. And they did. They pushed down on towards him. That dive is so good. But this Uranus now, who answers this Uranus, right?
No.
Because EVOS, it seems like they don't really have the answer to the Uranus.
No one, because the Baxia is also behind. So there's no way, like, a way to punish the Uranus. Especially, wow, Kai. He's just
And he has to pop the Fustano as well.
flexing. Yeah. Kai is just flexing on Albert, man. Come on, man.
Look at that, look at Ludwig.
Yeah, look at where he is.
Yeah.
He's cutting inside of the bay.
Two-wave clear there. Just to relieve off pressure and also open avenues for ONIC. That's going to be Keyboy. Oh, AOT doesn't land, but Sans in the mid lane caught. A good trade for EVOS. Now ONIC will look for compensation here perhaps, but they will take their time instead.
Yep. That was a little loss there for ONIC. Especially now the turtle will spawn, but hey, the dead timers are still fine, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's a trade for ONIC. Usually ONIC, when they play Fanny, they don't want the objectives, they just want to trade. And yeah, Ludwig, wow.
Getting ganked on, 4 members. The stun, oh, the tsunami slam, everything, and he survived!
Ludwig!
That's gonna be Ludwig just holding on, buying time for his team. And ONIC, they can reposition, they can look for an angle to contest, but Albert is on at level 6. Looking for the retribution. ONIC doesn't have time there as Fanny prioritizes the purple.
Yeah, at least a silver lining for EVOS in the turtle take that Albert was able to get.
Do you know why Ludwig doesn't get take down that one at that one? Because from EVOS side, they don't have the glowing one or the dog.
Yeah.
They have Baxia on Albert with the anti-regen, but you need more damage because they don't have any items, and Ludwig was 3-0. He was so ahead.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, he also goes with the radiant armor for his item as well.
And he's going for Oracle next, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should
And
be
without
the
without Erland there, no way to shred Ludwig, and it's a tough lesson for Ega. Like, oh, I cannot tsunami slam the Uranus. He's too strong.
It's
And-
way too strong.
And the glowing one finished up by Mr. Few, but Ludwig, he's on an island by himself.
Yeah.
Nobody can punish him.
That's a private island right there.
Private island, and Sans finishing up the Sky Piercer. Wow.
Yeah. Sky Piercer will somehow kind of be a late game guarantee as well if you're able to farm those stacks. It becomes easy. Kyrie.
Ooh.
Gonna be fine.
Gonna be fine. Just teasing Few, a little bit of tease. But then, man, this Uranus is gonna be a problem. Keyboy?
All alone here. Potential 1v3. That's going to be revitalized Pamin. Down goes Keyboy. A little bit, over-commitment, over-extension there. EVOS quick to punish.
Kyrie going to the second item, Malefic Roar right there.
Yup, against the tanky boys of EVOS, the Baxia. Oh, this is Sans.
Look at him.
Look at Ludwig.
Wow. Whoa, so hard to catch Sans.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody can care about him.
Yeah, that's a flicker from Ega. Luke now.
Kyrie?
Give damage. Oh my goodness. That's a good catch. Luke finally impacting here. Kai goes down. Now the mid lane is looking very weak from side of EVOS. Still up though, as EVOS will be able to clear, but Kelra is free in the bottom side of the map now. Albert finally claiming the last turtle. So 2 turtles here, potentially from the side of EVOS, knowing that Kai is still off the map. Take a look at the top side of the map here as Erlon almost gets that structure, he will. So it's a trade bot and top.
Yep, it's a trade bot and top, but EVOS got the turtle, which means it was like, what, 500 gold shift to EVOS. But again, ONIC still very strong. EVOS really needs the Trinity on Ireland to do massive damage to Ludwig. And Ludwig, knowing he is very strong right now, just goes for the Oracle. Ludwig, yep, I think he's fine.
The Purify to safety. And the mid lane will fall. EVOS slight equalizer, but ONIC again just punishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very, they're very safe with Kyrie in the long lanes, you know, playing Fanny. Nobody, especially with Ega with no Tsunami Slam, he can just show himself playing in the long lanes. And also, Kelra just showing up top too. They don't care, they're showing 3 lanes because they know they cannot be punished.
No. It seems like Kyrie has the control of the long lanes, but then you would want to delegate Erlan because in these type of situations, you kind of want to push the minions into the base and then you play those long lanes. But ONIC has an answer towards Erlan, which is the Fanny.
The Fanny.
Kyrie will be able to catch Erlan in the long lanes and then go for more. Albert,
Albert, no roll.
Yeah,
Kumar?
he isolated himself, but still tanky enough
Kelra.
to survive. But Kelra now deals a lot of damage with the Shaman, of course, but EVOS there, the reinforcements, that's going to be the AOG finding Luke. Immobilization there on towards Luke, but the damage won't be enough to take the Phobius down just yet. 5 and 5 here as we get to see the Lord spawning in a bit.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for the Holy Crystal. If you hit one bit like a truck, especially where EVOS has those beefy boys ready.
And yeah, for ONIC, they're cutting the lane, I think. Yeah, they're cutting the lane with Gatot and the Harriet. They have the long lane control. And for EVOS as a monster right now, it's very, very, you know, it's very, very vulnerable with no with no win of nature. He can get solo killed by Kyrie. And yeah, look at ONIC, they're just trapping for Erlan here.
Yeah.
Oh
no.
Kelra shows. The structure falls. Kelra.
He's teasing him.
Yeah, Erlan doesn't want to bite though.
Ouch. But at least for now, for Erlan particularly, there isn't really an instant lock CC that ONIC has. You know, one is telegraphed, obviously the AOG, maybe the taunt could be an option. But if you want to pick him off, you gotta show a couple of members up into the map. And again, Kyrie, like I said, addressing the long lanes, which has been a huge problem from EVOS. Erlan can't really play the long lane because the minions has been cut and he has no cover to really open up the map, so he's basically just waiting in the bush.
And this is very smart from ONIC. They know EVOS cannot hold the Lord without Erlan.
Yeah.
If Albert holds the Lord, he will just be, you know, half by then, and just ONIC can just retake. And with the swift finish for Erlan, I think he needs the win of nature to be safe playing the long lanes. And right now, with Erlan showing, ONIC's trying to make a move here. Few taking the Uranus ult. Oh, it's a wrong misclick.
Yeah, it seems like EVOS, they're struggling to find a connection here. ONIC, they can play it slow, right?
Yeah, very, very slow. And as I got easy right now, you really want to save your Tsunami Slam, because if you use the Tsunami Slam for the Gatot, the Fanny can just go all in, you know, be crazy with the cables. So as I got easy, you really need to hold the Tsunami Slam.
Have a look at this. ONIC are able to really get their hands on the Lord. It seems like EVOS want to make a play. Albert, Unity, Shield Unity.
Kelra finishes.
Taunt.
That's a good
Albert.
taunt. That's the immobilization on towards Abaksha. Poison's popped. And it seems like he will get back to safety. Top lane will be prioritized there by the Fanny. Oh, Luke takes heat, repositions as it's just a test game. Ground force popped on towards View. EVOS here, they gotta keep their distance.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a beautiful dance, Lord dance from ONIC, knowing their composition, knowing their strengths, playing in the long lanes. Oh, Luke.
Oh my goodness, that's a flicker. So that's a win for ONIC.
Yeah. Now they're gonna go back to the Lord. They have the power to shred this down, especially with the Kimmy, and then you have the Harris as well, readying up. Albert wants to look for an angle, but you can't just enter the pit like that.
Wow.
It's hard, you have no power. At least Erlan did something up top to push out the long lane.
Wow. I mean, there's no mechanics there's no like micro, but the micro is insane from ONIC. The way they play, the way they know their winning condition, the way they know that EVOS cannot hold the Lord, and just they play around, you know, and Suns just, you know, spinning around with the Kimi, playing around, you know. Look at Suns, just playing around.
Blue buff will be contested by ONIC. Those are red 3 right there. They're fine. So now it's just gonna be that slow approach from both teams.
Yeah.
Because again, ONIC, they know they have capitalized on the lead. They don't want to rush things.
Yeah.
They don't want to do misplays because we have seen a couple of misplays here and there. But now for EVOS, what will they really do, right? In a situation where they can't really kill the Uranus, they are gonna have to rely on a single Kalea ultimate, and then they don't really have the burst to follow up.
I think it should be from Luke. It's a Flicker Dark Wave, but with no Flicker, that's gonna be tough. Because Ega needs to save his Tsunami Slam. If he uses his Tsunami Slam, Kyrie will be very, very free.
Yep. Let's see, they're gonna siege without Kyrie. Kyrie's busy doing his purple buff, and that's gonna be fine, because ONIC has the damage, ushering the Lord into the base. Now Kyrie might join the fight. Albert attacking all the damage. A second core of siege in the mid lane, and EVOS can't do much about it.
Yeah, that's
Look
gonna
at
be
B-Boy.
B-Boy still holding on with the conceal. That's a taunt though. That's gonna be mid lane defended as ONIC. They will not overstay, right? They will reposition towards the back, and perhaps Luke here is caught.
Oh,
That's gonna be Luke just jumping in. That's gonna be winner crown. But I don't think Luke can be saved. Now, which is just 4 members standing, EVOS. Can they defend mid lane? Looks juicy, and ONIC says, hello, let's take it down. 2 waves crashing on towards the main base, but the waves from the side of EVOS will spawn, so ONIC, they can hit the reset button right here.
Yeah, very strong. Coming in from ONIC. Is that a Wishing Lantern I saw? Yep, Wishing Lantern for a few. And again, they need to address this Uranus. But I don't think it's going to be enough as of now. And even if you want to wait to the late game, Lutpies is going to be as beefy as ever. He has the Oracle ready to chastise as well. And even all the structures now are all gone.
I mean, look at the kills. It's 5-4. But the gold lead,
Yeah.
it's 7.2k. It means ONIC has been playing the macro game very, very well.
Yeah.
The way they play around the long lane, the way they don't overcommit, the way... But EVOS, I must give credit to them. Yeah, it's hard for them. Like, the composition is very hard. Like, if Albert wants to go in, there's a lot of so much peel from ONIC side, especially from Suns with the Kimi. He peeled so much, like, the way he uses the full stack, you know, when he's red. Oh, wow. Yep. The way he uses the second skill, the way he uses the traction pulse is just so good.
Yeah. Hugh has the traction pulse stolen. I don't know if that's gonna that's gonna make a big impact. Or would it change something? Oh,
That's a conceal, that's a flicker.
Oh.
Kyrie!
Erlan?
Gables, and down he goes. Wow, just by Keyboy's presence. Erlan popped the flicker now. Without the marksman, they will try to end the game. Albert taken very low. Shaman force bombs here. Sans repositioning. That's gonna be the Calra. Just dismantling the members of EVOS.
It's over.
And now they will go for the base. Few and Albert looking to defend, but Few will not be able to survive as Calra picks up the double. They want the bodies. They want to wipe EVOS.